Today I am going to explain the linear regression using Python, where I am explain the steps and solution implemented in this Jupyter notebook. Before we get into the code, let us briefly discuss the concept of regression. Regression is a fundamental statistical technique used to model the relation between dependent variable and independent variable. The most basic form of regression is linear regression, which assumes a linear relation between the variables. In a linear regression, the goal is to find the best fitting line through the data points that minimize the distance between the observation value and prediction value. This is done by finding the optimal values for the slope and intercept line. Linear regression is widely used in the predictive model, help to understand how the changes in the independent variable influenced by the dependent variable. With this understanding of a regression, we can now proceed to the code. In this first cell, we begin by implementing the necessary libraries for this project. We are using the libraries like a NumPy for numerical operations, Mada for data manipulation, Matplot and Seaborn for the data visualization, and scikit-learn for the implementing linear regression. In second cell, we are loading the data set. The data set contain the e-commerce customers information. Here we use the readCA function to read the data from CSV file and store into data frame. This data set will be foundation for our analysis and model building. In this step, in the third cell, we perform the exploration of a data analysis. To understand the data set better, we use the function like a head to preview the first few rows, describe function to get the statistical summary, and info function to check the data type and null values. This is the describe function. This is the head function to know the which columns are there, and this is the describe function which tell the how many rows and count, mean, standard median, everything. And this is the info function. In next cell, we are seeing the data visualization. Data visualization is a key to identify the pattern and correlation. In this cell, we are create the various plots such as the histogram, scatter plot, heat map to visualize the distribution of data and the relation between variables. This visual analysis helps us to identify which variable might be significant in our regression model. This is the joint plot to visualize the data. This is the pair plot help to visualize the data how distributed in model. Before we can build a linear regression model, we need to prepare the data. This involves the selecting the feature and the target variable and split the data into training and testing sets. Splitting the data ensure that we can evaluate the model performed and unseen data. Now we move on building the linear regression model using scikit-learn. In this cell, we are importing the linear model using scikit-learn. In the linear regression class, we are train the model on our training data. This model will help us to understand the relation between features and the target variable. by fitting the linear equation to data. This is the fitting the data. After training the model, it's important to evaluate its performance. In the in this cell, in this cell, we used to matrices like a mean square error and R square to access the accuracy of our model. In this one, we are using the mean absolute error, mean square error, R square error, access to accurate our model and the testing data. Those matrices give us to understanding of how well our model is performing and whether it is generalizing well to new data. In next cell, finally we use our training model to make a prediction on a new data. This step demonstrates the practical application of the data, where we predict the outcome based on the input features. This is the way regression models are often applied in a real world scenario. From the predicting the house price to estimating sales. On this conclude my walk through the linear regression code. We started by discussing the concept of the regression, explore the data set, building a linear regression model, and evaluated its performance. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope this presentation was insightful. Once again, my name is Shambhuling Gandigar, and my USN is 2BA22CS. Have a great day.